Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News on the hour. I am Ebrulomo Adekunle. Contrary to widespread belief that Sudan has rejected Nigeria's extradition requests for Sadiq Oguchi, the Yanya bomb blast mastermind, the federal government says efforts to bring him back are still ongoing. According to the Director, Public Communications, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Amedu Ogbole Ode, the process of extraditing Oguchi is being handled by the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol. It stated that the process is a long-drawn one, which requires a lot of paperwork and tendering of evidence that shows that the suspect was indeed involved in what he was being sought for. The director stated that the move to bringing back Oguchi was not foreclosed yet, adding that efforts to extradite him was still on. Ogboleode explained that the process of bringing back the suspect to stand trial for his alleged crime would be completed when all the necessary formalities had been completed. He stressed that the federal government is unaware that Sudan is frustrating the repatriation of Oguchi, saying that the process of bringing back the suspect is being handled by the Interpol and it is a government-to-government thing. Meanwhile, a legal practitioner has described the refusal by the Sudanese government to grant Nigeria's request to extradite the mastermind of the Yaya bomb blast in Abuja to political, which is likely to lead into a diplomatic feud if not properly managed. One of them says the refusal only boils to lack of a healthy relationship between both countries and the clause of religious affiliations. For his part, Justice Uhuegbu says the development has again proven the political foundation in touch with the insurgents and warns that a conflict might ensue if the right actions are not taken.
Whether the outcome of his negotiation is going to be binding or useful is a different. He could go ahead if the federal government don't give their consent to do the negotiation. Of what use will the outcome of the negotiation be if it doesn't have a binding effect, if it doesn't have the consent of the federal government? Because by and large, when you are negotiating with people, is a trade by barter thing. Absolutely, like since he has put it on the pages of the newspaper, if I were Mr. President, Jonathan, I will give him my consent. I will give him the authority to go ahead and negotiate with the Boko Haram. Also on the pages of the newspaper, like he has said, since he's put it on the rooftop now. So I will also do the same thing, because at the end of the day, if anything untoward happens to those girls, and Obasanjo is already sounding that warning that most of the girls are never likely to return back to us, then the president will be blamed that I was somebody who gave us an opportunity to really get these girls back, and Mr. President turned a blind eye or a deaf ear and a non-smelling nose to the request to negotiate with the Boko Haram.
Since he has offered himself on a platter of gold free of charge to the government to do the negotiation, it will just be a wise thing for the government to grant him that request. Let him negotiate on behalf of the government with the Boko Haram, and if the agreement or the terms of the agreement is good to the government, they implement it.
Okay.
Irrespective of international treaty and agreement with French government, that all the French territory during the colonial era will support Nigerian government in the battle against insurgency. So that this government now said they are not going to be party to it. It may be a reflection of the attitude of Nigerian government to the president of Sudan when he ran to Nigeria for assistance when he wanted to be tried by the ICC.
After a long day and night at the Eagle Square, the new APC chairman, John Odigio-Yegun, was finally declared elected at about 10 a.m. on Saturday. Speaking afterwards, Odigio-Yegun assured party members of his readiness to provide visionary leadership for the party ahead the 2015 general elections.
I am humbled by the great honor you have conferred on me and the sacred trust that you have reposed on me. And with extreme humility, I accept this responsibility. We have undertaken to lead this party into the next phase of its evolution and onwards thereafter to the fulfillment of its destined mission as the liberator of the Nigerian people. This is a heavy responsibility, but I assure you, it is a responsibility we are not taking lightly. Nigerians have been frustrated by the fact that there was no alternative national party comparable in strength to rescue them from the clutches of the PDP. Today, I want to say to Nigerians, your wait is over. Your prayers have been answered. Help is on the way. The APC has arrived. In 2015, the All Progressives Congress will provide Nigerians with visionary, dedicated, and people-oriented leadership that will liberate the nation from the clutches of the PDP's rule of poverty and oppression.
Meanwhile, hundreds of thousands of members of the All Progressives Congress spent the night at the Eagle Square to see about 6,000 delegates elect as new party officials. Not even the downpour could dampen the mood of the party faithful at APC's inaugural national convention. Pius Samuel reports.
All the roads in Abuja seemed to lead to the city center on Friday night, where the long-awaited APC National Convention was taking place. The atmosphere outside the Eagle Square could best be likened to a carnival. It was also not different inside the arena. But when it was time for speeches, the party leaders were businesslike.
2011, we have remained resolved to make sure that this country that we have helped to build, nobody should completely destroy it. Enough destruction has been done. Stand firm, vote for APC, let's get this country moving again.
You become part of a common sense revolution. And that common sense revolution is to fight insecurity, mismanagement, unemployment, hopelessness, and abduction of our children. Failure of the government, a president, this won't stop on the desk of the president. For our children, 250 and more of them to still be in captivity is a shame to all of us, but the biggest failure of ineptitude, incompetency, and a failure of good government.
It was also a time for outgoing chairman Bisi Akonde to say goodbye. He used the opportunity to lash at the ruling PDP and give an insight into what to expect from an APC government at the center.
Nigeria is today a subject of some form of global assistance after it was apparently overwhelmed by security challenges. As I speak, personnel and equipment from a global coalition that includes the United States, the United Kingdom, Israel, and the United Nations are in our country assisting us to rescue the over 200 school girls.
The Eagle Square was fully occupied, and that was because there was little or no restriction. So, these party members had to sit on the ground. In the run-up to the convention, the chairmanship position was a 3-horse race, but Tom Ikimi was eased out. He reacted by shunning the convention, while Temipre Silva publicly declared support for John Oyegun. There was also consensus in the choice of National Secretary and Publicity Secretary, but in spite of this, elections still had to go on for several other positions. And under the watchful eyes of INEC, officials and security operatives, voting commenced at about 12:54 a.m. Some delegates who spoke to CoreTV News were optimistic that the convention is coming at the right time.
To support APC, our new party, as a result of a merger of 3 parties, 3 major parties in Nigeria, which has never happened in the history of politics in the entire world.
In the history of this nation, 5 governors of a ruling party defected into a new party. For the first time in the history of this party, this country, over 37 members of the House of Representatives, close to 20 senators defected, to a new party. My brother, this is an idea whose time has come.
APC faithfuls are also hopeful that after scaling through its first major test, the party is on track to giving the ruling party its biggest electoral challenge since 1999. As 2015 general elections approaches, Nigerians require good leadership no matter the party affiliations of the candidates. As over 8,000 delegates cast their vote at the APC National Convention here in Abuja, political watchers are waiting to see if the party will bring the desired change during the 2015 general elections. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
In a related development, the presidency has congratulated the All Progressives Congress for its ability to hold a successful convention. It says that the national officers who were elected at the party's national convention emerged at a critical time when the nation was preparing for elections. The special advisor to the president on political matters, Ahmed Al-Khali, who stated this in a statement, charged the APC's National Executive Committee, led by its national chairman, John Odige Oyegun, and other members of the Executive Committee, to put the interests of the nation first in whatever they do. He added that the President, Goodluck Jonathan, has laid solid foundation for conducting free, fair and credible polls in the country, and all hands must be on deck to ensure the people of Ekiti State are allowed to exercise their right to elect their leaders without hindrance. As the June 21st Ekiti governorship election gets closer, organized labor across the country has endorsed the second-term ambition of Governor Kayode Fayemi. The unions, led by the National Administrative Organ of the Nigeria Labour Congress, did the endorsement at a solidarity rally held in Ado-Ekiti. Rashid was there and filed in this report.
The organized labor led by the Central Working Committee of the Nigeria Labour Congress had in attendance the leadership of the trade unions across the country. Nigeria Labour Congress President Abdul Wahid Omar says it is imperative to support the cause of Fayemi due to his antecedents in labor movement.
And we can always identify with people who identify with the movement, particularly those who have diligently served the movement in different capacities. Your Excellency, I do know that your antecedents in labor movement in struggle are not something that are hidden. And therefore, if we choose to identify openly with you, it is because we have every cause to do that.
Fayemi expressed gratitude to the labor leaders and vowed to represent very well the movement that prepared him for leadership in all spheres.
Most critical reason why your presence here speaks volume is for people to know that leadership is not accidental. My partisanship is an extension of my activism. It's not a substitute. It is all encapsulated in our own ideological orientation. That power and politics is about people.
The endorsement rally later moved to the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium. This time, the NLC national leadership was not there. The Ekiti State chapter of the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress were, however, at hand to assure Fayemi of his second-term ambition.
Not only for the adoption of Governor Kayode Fayemi for second term, but an avenue to demonstrate to the outside world that Governor Fayemi and the entire workers in Ekiti State are partners in progress.
Fayemi, you have my support and the support of my people. Thank you very much.
With the June 21st governorship election barely a week away, political watchers are waiting to see the outcome of this endorsement. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
Still in Ekiti, the INEC resident electoral commissioner in the state, Ali Lupai, has cleared the air on the origin and destination of a truck arrested with electoral materials during the week in Ado Ekiti, the state capital. He insisted that the contents of the vehicle are the commission's obsolete materials. He also decries comments credited to the commander of the army detachment drafted to oversee security during the election, Aliyu Momo, indicating that the materials in the vehicle were dated 2014. Rashid monitored this latest twist from Ado Ekiti and filed in this report.
The interception of the Lagos-bound truck on Thursday at Itaure and the dismissal of the materials as obsolete by INEC and claims by the military commander who arrested the truck indicating that some 2014 materials were found in the truck is now eliciting reactions. Commenting on this development, the INEC resident electoral commissioner in Ekiti State, Ali Lupai, explained that the truck contained the only waste product of the electoral body.
You have this as INEC stamp, and you have this as stamps that is currently in use. And what is curious about this issue is that you cannot claim that 2014 stamp is a waste material.
We only received the stamps that would be used for the 2014 election on the 13th. That is just yesterday. In other words, as at the time that that truck was intercepted, we have not even received the stamps.
Stressing the fact that the materials found in the truck were indeed obsolete, Ekiti INEC unveils aprons which will be used in the forthcoming election, as the resident electoral commissioner also announced that the chairman of the INEC and the Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Abubakar, are due to arrive Ekiti on next Wednesday alongside the sensitive materials to be used for the poll.
The sensitive materials will come next week. The chairman of the commission, Professor Atahiru Mohamed Jega, will be coming for the final stakeholders meeting on 18th, Wednesday 18th this month. The Inspector General of Police is also expected to be there.
The fears nursed by the electorate over the credibility of the forthcoming election were also laid to rest, as the resident electoral commissioner assured all of INEC's neutrality.
We do not have any preferred candidate or political party, and we have no reason whatsoever to compromise with anybody. We want to achieve a free, fair, and credible election, and therefore appeal to all the stakeholders in this state to play the game according to the rules of the game.
Although Ekiti State has 2,195 polling units, the resident electoral commissioner reveals that the figure has increased to 2,803 polling cubicles due to the largeness of some polling units. This, he added, is to enhance smooth voting system. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
In the same vein, the Ekiti State Resident Electoral Commission, Halilu Pai, says the Independent National Electoral Commission has engaged 7,941 people as ad hoc staff for the June 21st governorship election in the state. Pai told newsmen in Ado Ekiti that most of the ad hoc staff were members of the National Youth Service Corps and students of tertiary institutions. According to the RAC, the Commission engaged such a high number of ad hoc staff in order to cater for the 766,132 persons registered as voters in the state. Pai added that out of the 7,941 people engaged as ad hoc staff, 2,195 would work as presiding officers, while 5,605 would work as assistant presiding officers. Some of the ad hoc staff will be deployed to 177 electoral wards, 16 collation centers at the local government headquarters, and the rest will be in Ado Ekiti, the state capital. He stated the RSA says the money to pay the allowances of those engaged had been credited into the account of the NYSC in Ekiti State to avoid delay in payment. He explains that each corps member would receive 11,000, made up of 7,000 as honorarium and 4,000 naira as transport fare. With less than 3 months to the Osun State's governorship poll, the State Police Command has assured that adequate steps will be taken to ensure a hitch-free election. The command arrested 2 suspected armed political thugs at one of the campaign rallies in the state. Bid Okoro in Osogbo has more.
The Osun State Police Command has arrested 2 suspected political thugs. The arrests were made at one of the recent campaign rallies in the state. At the time of their arrest, some dangerous weapons and local charms were reportedly found on them. The Osun Police Command Public Relations Officer, Folashade Odoro, gives insight into how the arrests were made.
So our men were there that day doing their visibility policing before they sighted the suspects. And during this course, they were searched and all the dangerous weapons were found in their vehicle and also in their trousers.
According to Odoro, further investigations is still being carried out to determine the level of complicity of both men.
Diligent investigation will be carried out, and if they are found guilty, they will be charged to court to face the music.
The Special Assistant to the State Governor on Security Affairs, Kunle Amos, buttressed the need for the ongoing investigations by the police.
But we are trying to see the authenticity of what they were actually going to use the cutlass for and all that. So investigation is still ongoing. They are still just suspects until it's determined and investigated that they are actually culprits. You can't say precisely whether they are offender or not.
The command spokesman Folashade Odoro confirms the readiness of the police to adequately handle the state's governorship election come August 9.
According to the Inspector General of Police Transformation Agenda on visibility policing, we are fully on ground. We've strategized all our men that during this electioneering period, we are not going to take it lightly with anyone found with any offensive weapons.
With preparations for the August 9 election in Osun State heating up by the day, will police assurance of providing security before and during the election be solely relied on? Events in the very near future will reveal this to us. Bid Okoro, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
And outside Nigeria, United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has opened a group of G77 plus China summit in Bolivia, with developing countries calling for a new world economic order. Ban spoke to a vast audience that included some 30 heads of government and representatives of more than 100 nations, about 2/3 of the world's countries. According to Ban Ki-moon, the destiny of billions of poor people and the state of the planet depends on their work. Dignitaries at the event include the presidents of Venezuela, Ecuador, Cuba, and host nation Bolivia. China, which is not a G77 member, is participating in the summit, partly in a nod to its expanding trade ties in Latin America, although President Xi Jinping will not attend. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro says leaders at the summit are pressing for a fight for fair and sustainable economic growth and for a new world economic order. Ecuador's President Rafael Correa slams the current global economic system as morally flawed. The summit marks the 50th anniversary of the group's founding, and it has grown in membership from 77 developing countries to 133 countries. That's the news for this hour. Do join us again top of the hour for more. Thank you for being there. I am Ebulomo Adekunle.